Technologies are evolving very fast these days, and I think they will accelerate in the coming 10-15 years.
Port management should change the way they're thinking. They should recognize the change not only in internal of the enterprise, but upstream and downstream along the supply chain.
All stakeholders contribute to the efficiency of its ports. Therefore, it is very important that all stakeholders work together towards the same goals, to initiate different actions and projects to make the processes within the port seamlessly.
It will come from optimization of existing processes, but also believe a lot of new solutions will become available, and that can bring new value to the industry.
To drive digital transformation, you really need to have the right people in place and the right talent. And this talent is actually quite expensive and rare today. We are seeing a lot of this talent behind digitization coming from startups and co-innovating with ports.
Changing the way of how business are performed here at the port, it has two challenges. The first one is technical, but the technical one could be solved only with working. But the second one is the cultural paradigm, and in this case we need to put in place a lot of training to all the people to change the mindsets on how business is done.
How should we design the workplace for the future if some current processes will be executed automatically in different manner? And many more questions we have to answer for the new work of the port and transport business in order to prepare ourselves and join force with other stakeholders in the port to make the human capital in the port fit for the future.
The single most important challenge for a port to digitize is talent and people.
For instance, autonomous shipping. I very much believe there that we will create new business models by having smaller ships going back to the canals where they were 100 years ago, but disappeared because there was no economics anymore. But by automate them, you will be able to reproduce and rebuild that new solutions, which are also more sustainable than sometimes the large-scale solutions we have today.
In Montreal, we have started experimenting with Internet of Things, of course. We use sensors to monitor, for example, truck movements. So we use license plate readers, high-definition cameras, and also RFID technology to monitor truck transactions, and we can build real-time information based on these sensors. So this is valuable information for the trucking community to better plan their resources in servicing the port. It's a real-time decision support tool for trucking community, and it's all based on big data, Internet of Things. And there's also carbon footprint reduction objectives related to that.
So we'll have a lot more data, and especially as we start to look at data across multiple ports, across multiple platforms, that data currently and as it evolves may be very different. We need to look at developing standards so that that data can be used across the multiple platforms.
The impact of automation and in terminals and automation in transport modes will be a shifting paradigm in the industry. In the case of the terminals, the productivity will be increased a lot, and with the data that they can collect with this automation, processes will be streamlined to the very efficiency.
In Hamburg, we have fully automated container terminal Altenwerder or CTA. On this example, we can see that what potentials of automation in port and terminal processes have. Faster and more reliable loading and unloading. Less human-intensive tasks, better control on the planning and execution of the yard, and marshalling processes.
With digitization of ports, the scope of cybersecurity will increase and the risks will increase with that larger scope. Ports need to look at protecting that larger scope. But in addition to that, currently ports protect their own environment, stakeholders protect their own environment. We need to start looking at more interconnected networks and looking at, from a systems perspective, how we protect from a cyber perspective across that system as opposed to individually.